Hello and welcome back to Deconstructed. I'm your host Sam Animo Mackenzie, and with me, as always, Parry Piro Pitchards. I would say I know what episode this is, but I don't have a fucking clue because we're recording two back to back, and I don't know. Harry, I didn't ask you in the last one that we just recorded. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. Yeah, back-to-back episodes. I'm on my Ollie Bobs. I'm going on Ollie Bobs. So yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
great. It's gonna be great. You seem impressed.
What on your Ollie Bobs?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care, mate, and it was just a bit cringe. But
Oh,
anyway, let's get
swing
into
and a
the
miss.
episode because no one needs to hear about you going to Croatia and wherever it is. I
New
certainly
HLTV
don't.
news office. I've heard.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't care to keep going. Sorry. Right, let's get into the episode. So, typically, we've been talking about teams. You know, we've done G2, Liquid, Gamer Legion. Reckon we just done Mouse and a ton of other cunts. But we're not going to do
Not
that
too
today.
monetized.
Yeah, well, we're not monetizing anyway. Um, we're not going to do that today. Today we're going to talk about just one player, one of the most legendary players in Counter-Strike history, not just Global Offensive, the godfather of Brazilian CS. We're going to talk about FalleN. Um, there's been a lot said about FalleN in the last few years. You know, obviously won two majors in 2016, legendary IGL as a result. He still picked up tournaments here and there for about a year afterwards. MIBR was meant to be a big thing. It fucking wasn't. He went to Liquid. That was meant to be a big thing. It fucking wasn't. And eventually he ends up on Imperial, which at the time is regarded as a bit of a last dance for old FalleN. Um, of course, complete bastardization of the phrase, but that's not the point we're getting at. Um, now, in some aspects, he's kind of done well. In others, maybe not so much, which we'll get to. But if recent news is to be believed, um, he's he's been in talks with some teams, and it looks like Imperial won't be his last team in Counter Strike. So I think a good point to start then is what's your thoughts on FalleN up to now?
Up to now. Well, yeah, it's the thing where we liked Astralis in 2016, so we're not going to be people who underrate FalleN. Like every single time he played against Astralis, apart from one at Krakow, and that was why Krakow was so nuts, was because Device actually stopped FalleN like for the first time. Like FalleN in his prime was terrifying. Like just the fucking Crimson Web butterfly knife. I see that in nightmares. That's just flicking to that, just all around toilets on overpass. Like he's just one of those really fast AWPers that they just become flashy just because of the way they play. Like he's one of those who he will flick off. Like he'll hit a shot and flick off just because it looks cool. Like he's one of those guys.
My boy.
Obviously been around for years and years. Like there's and he did do a lot for Brazil, and that's the thing that you can never take away from him. Longevity, like he's kind of living off those 2 years, 2016, 2017. He's living off those years even now. Like 6 years later, basically no results since as an IGL or as a player. Just kind of just dropped off. But there's still that thing where it's not just his reputation that's giving him all these chances. I think when you look at Brazil, it's a region that lacks great IGLs and it lacks great AWPers. And you can look at FalleN and you can make an argument, stick a band-aid on it, have FalleN do both, and just have four good riflers because they've got loads of bloody good riflers.
If I may interject, just for
Yeah,
one moment, um, it is kind of funny that it's his fault that there's a lack of great IGLs and a lack of great AWPers. It's kind of his fault. I
of
mean, did
course
you
it's his
see
fault.
Woody?
Yes,
Like, did you see fucking Woody?
but it's also his fault because
What an
while he was on
outrage!
MIBR, like if you were a Brazilian player and you were AWPing, you're like, well, I'm never going to get on MIBR, so I might as well be a rifler. It's like
Well,
it's like
yeah.
VP in Poland. Like all of the Polish players are just like, well, I'm not going to get on VP, so I don't give a fuck, and I'm going to waste my career. So now there's just no Polish players until like a few years ago with Nine and Shuey and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. He's kind of benefiting from the problem he created by being so like untouchable on MIBR. Um, but it's a problem that he does kind of like you hear it for the first time. Like FURIA and Pain are interested in FalleN in 2023 when when he's been talking about retiring for years. Like he keeps baiting us out. Look at Rio when he got eliminated, the Rio Major. He's just like, yeah, I'm probably gonna retire soon. It's like, okay, well, fucking do it then. Fucking do it then. And he just never does because he can still provide value and he can see that he can provide value because everyone still wants him. Like he's clearly a guy who would be happy to just tap out, have his business side, but everyone keeps banging on his door. He's not going to say no.
No, for sure. But before we talk about those people banging on his door, I wanna talk about Fallen, um, in the more recent past tense. Has Imperial been a success? Because I mean, they made two majors, they almost made playoffs at one, which is ridiculously impressive actually, and it kind of,
Mm,
I said the Last Dance was a bastardization of the phrase, but it kind of gave some credit to the name, to be honest. Like it almost did, and when you look at like the team, I mean, it was fucking like FNX, Bolts, Vinny, and Fur. Like Fur played really
mm,
well, but fucking hell, it wasn't exactly inspiring, was it? Like it did feel very very cobbled together. Um,
yeah.
then you get the Rio Major. They made it incredible game in which they made it. Like I'll never
Mm,
forget that complexity Imperial overpass. That was
oh yeah.
fucking wicked. Um, but I mean, I wish I could forget it because they were fucking wanking Rio. I don't know. I don't know what happened to them in Zero Zero
Happy to
Nation,
be
but
there.
it got way too big for them being there. They've got second at a challenger. Depends how much stock you want to put into a challenger. Interestingly, they lost to Pain at that challenger, and
The online season, right?
fucked if I know, mate. No, I
Pretty
don't
sure it
think.
was the online season.
No, it was a. It might have been an online, but it at DreamHack, one of them. So
Oh,
presumably
Melbourne. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Melbourne.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to
Melbourne.
say it was Dallas, but that didn't sound right in my head.
Yeah, yeah, it was Melbourne.
But no, it
So this is
was
the new Imperial, right? The Cello Jota one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Melbourne then. And then, very, very recently, third, fourth at a Blast event, and you can say what you want about Blast's format. Um,
Mm.
but considering what they did to Vitality on the first day, like it's defendable, and like I was quite impressed with them. I really
Mm.
was, like, especially on Overpass. Like they made it look like it wasn't a CT-sided map. Their T sides were really good, and they didn't get blown out once. They played fucking heroic on it. They played
G2.
Vitality.
Well, not an overpass, but
I was going to say they didn't play G2 on Overpass, but yeah,
they
they
didn't get
didn't.
blown out there either over
They didn't
time.
get
Yeah.
blown out by then. They pushed heroic to the brink of making heroic a week-long laughing stock again. Like they were really good. They were really good. You look at that event and you say, okay, Complexity and Imperial go out last place. Neither of them did. And especially Imperial, fair fucking play for what they did at the event. So I'll go back to how I started talking about Imperial. Has the time with Imperial been a success?
I think it's achieved basically everything he wanted to, right? Like he wanted the team was built to wheel out the old guard at Rio and say hi to the fans and distract everyone from the gala show. They did that. They turned up at Rio. Antwerp, like honestly, they maybe used up too much gas at Antwerp because if they could have done that at Rio, like imagine how crazy that would have been. But yeah, so that's the goal one. Goal one, the last dance was always about Rio. That the last dance ended at the end of Rio. And then for 2023, this is just a proper team now. This is just a proper Brazilian team. It's got good pieces. It's not a last dance troll team. This is just a good team. Like Cello and Jota are just good players. They're just good players. Vinny's decent, Bolts is decent. Like a lot of experience in those two as well. As anchors and stuff. Like yeah, like yes, it's always it firepower-wise, it's still below Fear and Pain, like easily. But it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team at all. and they're going to every LAN they can. And this blast result, like, yes, okay, so they've won 2 best of 3s, like that's what this blast result is. But they've had to qualify. Like, it's a long road to get to a spring final if you're a team like Imperial. Like, you're not a partner team. You have to win a showdown against, I can't remember who they beat exactly, but that
Was
tournament would have had FURIA, would have had Liquid. Would have, yeah, they beat Complexity in the last game, but like, you play a lot of games to get
oh
there.
yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
got to do qualifiers and all. Like, there's a lot of nonsense to get into the blast closed circuit, and they did it. So it's not just 2 best of 3s that got them there. So I think you've got to be pretty happy with it, considering the firepower he has. Like, it's decent, but it's nothing crazy. Like, he's not working with a Skulls or a Queserato. Like, I think they've done way better than expectations were. Like, no one cares about Imperial. Like even Rio this year, they were just garbage. Like no one expected anything from Imperial this year. So the fact that they've made us take notice, that's already a success for me, I think. Like, not compared to LGSK, but then that's not the thing they're being compared to anymore.
Yeah, and I think it's very commendable, and yeah, you look at it as a success regardless of where it stands in Brazil. Maybe in the back of FalleN's mind when it was formed, you're thinking, oh, we'll be the second best in Brazil. Maybe we'll even push Furia. I don't know if they've ever even really been second best.
No.
I still don't know if you put them there, even with that result probably being the most impressive result Brazil's had all year. Um, I
Mm.
still I still put pain to beat them most times. But let's continue with this idea of FalleN in the recent past tense, kind of moving into present tense. And the first thing I want to talk about is that now age old Thorin argument of FalleN being the most overrated player, because Thorin, if I'm right in saying, he completely agrees FalleN is a great leader with a great
Yeah.
history as an IGL, but believes that the wires get crossed or whatever, and FalleN as the player gets overrated quite heavily, in that he's not one of these greatest AWPer candidates of all time. Um, so I just I kind of want to know your thoughts on that, and can he still frag at a tier 1 level consistently if he's moving into these teams that are potentially tier 1 or kind of tier 1.5?
No. No, he's not. He's not a good enough fragger for tier 1 right now, but there's no Brazilian AWPer that is. I think he gets a whole pass there. In terms of, like, in the past, I think his peak burnt really fast, but it was really hard as well. Like Foreign takes a lot of issue with the number 2 he got in 2016, but he was just so good at his majors, wasn't he? Like, he wasn't the second best player in the world. Like, he was never the second best player in the world, but he just there's just something about him that was so hard not to like at the time. Um, maybe lost a bit of the likability later down the line as a team, but in 2016 they were just so much fun, man. Like, I think he was a really really good solid AWPer. Like, he wasn't that far below the, like, Guardian rung of AWPers in 2016 for those few months. The thing that is very telling is that once it was 2017, it was, like, it was Fur and Cold Zero, and FalleN had already dropped off. Like, well, they were still a really good team, but FalleN had already dropped off by 2017, and he's never got close to being back since. Like, it was just that really short, fast peak, and that's sort of, I don't know. He's definitely not good enough to frag at a tier 1 level, but I just don't know what you do if you're a Brazilian team. I genuinely just, there's not a better option.
Well,
And
yeah,
and the leadership wise, yeah, like, you're not going to tell me Art's a better in-game leader. And Big Azira has done it for 6 months, and he's been very, like, results wise, very good. But if they're looking for FalleN, like, Big Azira is too good a player to be an IGR. Like, he's definitely more suited to being the support caller in a pack. Like, that would work way better for me.
yeah, and I think if you want to look at a Brazilian AWPer to come in and be maybe a more impactful, more star AWPer, like only one. His name has now completely gone from my head. What's the one who was on 9Z? The one who's
Try
actually like all right? No, the other one who was on 9Z, the one they swapped.
NQZ
NQZ, that's his name.
on
Um,
Zero Donation now, right?
he could be decent, but again, massive
Mm.
gamble to like be a FURIA and go like, yeah, we want to take him because
Mhm.
really, if they were gonna do that, they should have done that when he'd just gone to 0 Nation. Like, looked like he could be really good. I don't think they've done much since they made that roster move, but obviously they're having some issues with Taco, I believe, or whatever. I don't think he's actually left. He's
Roster's not stable.
still not playing. Um, but so we talked about his fragging. You know, he can't consistently frag at tier 1 level. I think he did well at Blast. Um, I'm not sure if that would be something that would hold up consistently. What about
Mm.
leading at a tier 1 level? Because, I already said, like, their overpass looks fucking wicked.
Mm-hmm.
But would that be the same for every map? Would it potentially be better if he's back with, in Furia's case, the elite players in Brazil and then paying some of them when you've got like Big Uzera and
Skulls.
Skulls.
Skulls is crazy good. I think it's the tier 1 thing I struggle with because I think compared to the top European IGLs, I think it's not close. Like it's not that close. But for Brazil, yes, I think he's the best Brazilian IGL, and that's even with how good Big Azira's team has looked this year. I still think FalleN's a better IGL than him, and that's why it's so tempting, right? That's the thing that he really has over everyone else in Brazil, and he always has. Like for however many years, like Steel was not really that like IGL guy. Like he was the only one who even had decent results as an IGL. Like I just if I speak, I'll be in trouble. But he's just not. He's not that level. He's not that guy. I think Fury are planning to keep him if they get FalleN as like so he becomes the support caller.
The fucking
Maybe that's
reported
better.
team is mental. The reported team is so mental.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's something only Brazil would do, and it's whatever. It's not confirmed yet, but and that's the thing. If I was FalleN, I wouldn't be too tempted by that project. But I'd probably go to Pain. Like they're the. But we'll get into that. Yeah, yes, I think he's the best option for a Brazilian team as an IGL, and you kind of have to take the hit with the AWPer side. But that's the thing. That's like present. But he doesn't want to be around forever. Like this isn't a long term project. Like especially if you're Pain, you got young players, you want to be around for a while. Like you don't FalleN 6 months, like a year. I know we said that 18 months ago that FalleN only has another 6 months and he's still here, but I don't know.
Maybe
I
he
think he's
does
more
though.
of a. I think he
Maybe
needs to if
maybe
they're
he
going to
does.
join a team like these
And
two.
and maybe, yeah, it wasn't the biggest crowd in the world, but maybe getting to play in front of a crowd again, in Washington, maybe that's reinvigorated him. Maybe
You
he's
have to hope so.
he's getting a new lease of life, and especially like with a new game. I mean, not many players will be able to say what he'll say, like being fucking present in 3 iterations of Counter Strike. I mean, who else is it? Like Snappy and Carrigan. There's literally like the three of them.
Ooh, all three? I don't know.
Carrigan and Snappy were both about before
I've no
Go.
idea if those two played Source.
Well, I mean, Carrigan was a nuts
Well,
AWP player.
Apex played loads of Source.
Oh yeah, okay. So like, there's only a few players that can say that, and like for FalleN, it probably is like, there's got to be a thing in the back of your mind, like, yeah, I can usher Brazil into another new era. Like that'd be kind of cool. So
Yeah, it's cool.
let's let's talk about these possible teams, and let's start with the maybe better team of the two. Let's start with Furia. Yeah, I'm not sure if they are the better
Not for my
team,
money.
but they got
Ugh,
Serato. So
they do.
um, the first thing the first thing I want to talk about with Furia um, is actually to do with an Overdrive tweet. I'm not sure if you saw it, but
Oh god.
he
Not him having
basically said,
opinions again.
well, uh, yes, but um, I think this I think this opinion is reasonable, um, especially considering the original report also says they're interested in Fur, which is terrifying.
Fire and art, man.
But
No way.
so the tweet says FalleN is a CS legend, but he can't handle top tier level today. His top years gone long time ago. He can hardly keep NA level, and there are no chance playing versus best EU teams. It's like FURIA realise that they can't be tier 1, but they want to be at least better in the media aspect. So the question I pose to you, because I actually find it kind of hard to argue with, even though we have said, FalleN probably is the best Brazilian IGL. He probably, you probably can take the AWP hit, especially when you've got a rifler like Caserato. When you factor in fucking Fur,
That can't be
is this a
true, man.
marketing? Is this a marketing move from Furia? Is it nothing to do with the players? Is it
The
in terms of the server? Is it what they bring out of the server?
if Fur's joining, then yeah, you've got to think that. You've got to think it's just Furia just like seeing the dollar signs and just want him. But it's the thing I really want to like back up this move. I really want to see like there's logic to this, there's logic to this. But if Fur's coming, yeah, write that off. Just write that off completely. Just
Wait,
case
so
right, sorry, mate.
have you not seen this part?
No,
Do
I
you not?
saw it, but I was like, that was if it's not hockey on Dust 2 VR, I don't give a
No, I'm
fuck.
sure it
And
was
I
hockey.
didn't see it on Dust 2 VR.
I'm sure it was hockey. Sure it was.
Fallen Furs? Just no
Yeah,
way,
yeah. So
man.
the team was
So that was Globo or something.
it was
Yeah, it's
Caserato.
BR Insider, man. That doesn't mean anything.
Nah, I swear someone else said
It
it.
wasn't hockey.
Was it not? Well,
Hockey,
either.
the paying one.
Oh, maybe. Well, either way, right? Like the concept of fur art, fallen Caserato, and Yuri. I am fucking out. I have
Oh, that
never,
is
I
awful.
have never been out on a roster faster than fucking that one. Like, bro, just keep drop around. He's legitimately better than Fur, and if you watched him play against Navi, he is that guy. Like, I'll always love drops,
Okay, no,
but man,
drops garbage. I'll be honest, Drop has a horrible role because he's being IGL'd by art, and that's just like just a career sentence, but he doesn't kill anyone, man. Come on.
nah, bro, drops that guy. That guy. I know we.
He's
I
like
know we try
point
to
0.1 lower
provide.
than JDC.
We try to provide some insight here. We try to be good at that shit, but nah, pure vibes alone. Fucking Rio against Navi. Drop is that guy. Like he
Okay, yeah.
deserves a lifetime contract at Furia. Um,
Oh, fucking hell. Caserato got one, and see how that's gone. I don't think that's a blessing.
poor bloke, poor bloke. But so we agree. If they go for Fur as well, the move is unforgivable.
But you know, it might
Marketing move.
it might not just be marketing though. It might be Brazilian buyouts. They're like always crazy, right? Like Zevi was 600, was like not 600. Like Zevi and Skulls were like a lot of money, like more than half a mil, I think.
And
I
why the
heard at
fuck
some
would you
point.
pay any money for Zevi? But like,
Oh, because he's really good online. He just
no,
sucks in
like
big games.
I get it with buyouts, bro. But there's like 1,000,001 kids in Brazil who like play this game and are probably fucking crap. Like, bro, how much does Insani cost? He's nuts. He's cracking.
From MIBR,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah, he's worth it.
Loads of money.
He's
Furia
great.
aren't that org, man. Furia are a tiny org who lucked out by getting Caserato and Yuri on lifetime contracts in 2017. They're
Well,
not a big org. Pain are a way bigger org than Furia.
well, fuck it. Pay the fucking money or fuck off. Um, so
Furia
the
won't.
the other thing I wanted to say on the Furia point, uh, do you think art in the long run benefits from falling?
The idea I'm trying to keep this serious. The idea that art can like be a knowledge sponge. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I think he's fairly wedded to his ways. Like I know that they've changed the style recently, but that just
Well, that's worked.
the style change just screams like the players just can't do it anymore. And the org is like, nah, we like him because they keep him around.
Yeah, he's a
Keep him
good
around.
bloke.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, lads.
He always
Don't
buys
cut
the
him.
first round.
He'll change his style now. He'll change his style, and it's just gone even worse. Like it's just been the worst T-side team at every event they've turned up to. It's just
Fucking
like, just,
awful. That's so bad.
I'd love to get on board with this. Like Oh yeah, the master. He's going to teach Art. Art's going to come out with like a new way of thinking about the game, but Art's not going to have a new way of thinking about the game. I'm sorry, boys. I'm
Art and
sorry.
Nafany
I
are just
can't
they are
endorse
just
that.
cut from the same cloth. Like Art and
Yeah,
Nafany are both
at least
tried.
Nafany like has potential. I think like
Fuck
Nafany.
off! Fuck off! I'm not having that. I'm not having that,
Nafany's like at least Nafany's like young enough that it's like
bro.
I think Nafany's mental is the thing that sucks, right? Nafany's literally like, I'm not the smartest guy on my team. Like, you can't say that when you're an IGL. Get out of
Bro,
here.
bro.
Art believes he's the smartest person in the world, bro.
No, chill, chill, right? Because we're getting off the rail. We're getting off the rails here. But Nafany's teams don't throw flashbangs. Fuck off. He doesn't have potential. Okay.
You're,
Anyway, you're not responding to it. You're not responding to it. Nafany has no potential. We're leaving that one there.
it's like 21.
Let's say it's only Fallen. Let's say they have some random fifth. Please God, don't be safe. Just let Fallen up. Um, does this Furia team have potential to get back to a point where they can make a major playoffs?
Well, yes, they've got Quesarato.
Is one
Any
man
team
enough?
with Quesarato could make a major playoffs. He's so good. Like, genuinely. Like, the only thing holding me back, like, Quesarato is like Mao's Nico 2016 level to me on an eye test. Like, actually that good. Like, it's so hard to say he's like the best rifler in the world because they're just bombing out of groups. But I don't see anyone better than him, to be
Okay.
honest. If you've got Quesarato, you should be making major playoffs.
Yeah, pretty fair. I mean,
But
he's a player who
for,
deserves
for a
it.
more nuanced take, it's always hard to have nuance with this team. But like Yuri, it's hard to look at Yuri and be like fully convinced these days. Like it's kind of a bit scarier than it used to be on Yuri. Like it used to be just they called them the Fangs of Furia, right? Like equally sharp. And Quesara's kept improving, and Yuri's kind of stagnated, dropped off a little bit. Um, individually, maybe he'll get a little bit better if he's not leading. It depends who the fifth is. It can't be Fur. I just refuse to believe it's Fur. But like if you just get like I don't know, even if they have like safe rifling, and that's better than Fur, just fine. Just keep a normal rifler, and then I think it's a firepower issue. If you're keeping Fallen and Art, there's just a huge firepower issue because you're not going to spend the buyout to get skulls. Like that's not going to happen. You're not going to get Insani. You're not going to get skulls. So you're in
Not
trouble
against
firepower
Sarah.
wise. Yeah, you're just in trouble firepower wise.
Yeah, and I want Furia to be good. I actually really do.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like Quesarato just needs to get the fuck out. He just needs to get the fuck out, and
At all
I don't think
costs.
Fallen saves them. Like, never thought I'd say that, by the way. Never fucking thought I'd say that. Um, I don't even think he'd get a fucking chance to save them.
I think Fallen could. I think Fallen could save them, but I don't think him and Art can coexist. I don't like that as a move.
No, I
I
mean,
think you can. I think you can make a really good Brazilian team from all the pieces if buyouts didn't exist. But I think the issue is you want Insani and you want Skulls, and they're going to be locked, like lock and key, like thrown away.
well, it's like IGLs can't coexist, can they?
No, they can't.
No,
We know this. They
no, we know
can't.
it all too well. Um, but yeah, I agree. But let's talk about another team that has an IGL. Let's let's
Ish.
talk about Pain. Well, ish. But from what I gather, just from speaking to him at least, it kind of seems like he quite enjoys IGLing. Like
Mm.
he's like Big Zero. Like he seemed to quite enjoy it. Um, Sevi's shit. Like just put that out there now. Sevi is shit.
Oh, on LAN, he can't. Yeah, he can't hack it at the
Yeah,
moment.
he
He's
don't
so
know what
young.
he's
He's
doing.
like literally like 18. Like all you do. Oh my god, he's 22, bro. That's insane. Yeah, that's just the way I think about it. But he's got like no experience on LAN, right? Like, I always thought he was like a child, but I guess that's NQZ, isn't it?
Yeah,
But yeah, so
Zenki's.
Sevi, I think you keep him because there's clearly potential there on LAN. I think you loan him out. You don't sell him because you've invested a lot of money into him to sack him off this early. I try and loan him out, keep him in Brazil, like just try and get some lands, go to a few challenges. slowly get there. Because at the major, he just completely bottled it. Like, this is a guy with huge amounts of talent. Like, if you watch him online, like, nuts talent, crazy numbers, and then he just, as soon as there's any pressure on, he just buckles, and it's not like a device buckling to like a 1.0 rating. It's like a buckle to just losing the game for his team. So he unfortunately has to go, which is, just ignore the sunk cost fallacy and just
Got to
let him
go,
go.
bud.
But Payne is much more exciting for me because Payne in League of Legends spends a lot of money. Is the biggest BR org. He's the biggest Brazilian org. And in CS, they've shown intention by signing Zevi and Skulls for a lot of money. And this FalleN move, it's definitely not a marketing move for them. Like, it just isn't, is it? Like, getting FalleN. I mean, you're always going to dream of somehow getting Caserado out or Insani out. But, like, they're probably not going to outlay that much money in current climate, whatever. But I think it's more exciting. Payne's more exciting. I'd rather have FalleN working with Skulls and Biggies there because I think the argument of the knowledge sponge that art I can't see. Biggie Zero I can see. Like we've talked a lot about support callers and maybe they shouldn't always become IGLs like Biggie Zero has done at Payne. But he definitely, like, as much as it seems like he's good at it and wants to do it, like you wouldn't say no to 6 months of learning from FalleN. You just wouldn't. Like, I think Payne is a much more exciting move for me because I look at FURIA and the fucking hold art has over the org, and it's just like, yeah, just wait for your contracts to run out, Caserado. Just wait. Just wait. Even if it's
Just hope
2 more
hope
years.
you're good by the end of it.
Yeah, like just wait and then please get a better agent for your next contract. And just forget about FURIA, whatever. Like, they're still good. FURIA still probably going to be a better team than Payne just because they have Caserado, but I think Payne's a more interesting project for this point in FalleN's career. I think it's a bit of a sideways step from Imperial because they've still got like Hardzao and Neckers who are just like never going to be tier 1 players. But I don't know. At least it's an org that you can see like being relevant in the future. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Skull stays on Payne and then Payne eventually do become a better team than Furia. Like, if they just build around him and Big Zero, like, that'd be really fun. That'd be really fun if in the
Yeah, and
future it was. And
FalleN
FalleN
could
could be
really
a big
help.
part of that.
Yeah,
Mm.
he could definitely help them get there. He's actually an upgrade on Zevi, which is mental. That is mental that FalleN is an upgrade on anyone.
Yeah, feels wrong, right?
Him and Bigu could be an incredible calling duo. Like, that's
Mm.
always a thing on these teams. Like, yeah, we got all these fucking great IGLs. Let's not pretend they're not propped up by someone else who's also a voice that also does great things for the team. That's
Mm.
always the case, every fucking time. And yeah, Case Rato might be the best player in Brazil. He might even be the best player Brazil's ever seen. And that's with a Cold Zera who
Mm.
was the best player in the world at one point.
Yeah, Kozera did it in major playoffs, so
At a
it's hard.
much easier time in Counter Strike because Counter Strike hadn't
Yeah.
actually been invented yet. But
Founded
like,
by Glaive.
but looking at Pain, they've got a lot to build around, and I agree with something you said earlier. In that, if I'm FalleN, I look at Pain, and I think they could spend more money to become a good team. They already have arguably more pieces. That is a team that could go somewhere. You've got to hope that the thing with Fur isn't true. Because if it is true, then that suggests one thing about FalleN that's very worrying.
Mm-hmm.
In that he will go for the old boys club. And
Yeah, it's
then you can begin to worry about who Hardzao and Neckies lose their spots for, and whether that actually allows Payne to push on. But
mm,
but I wanted to throw in a curveball right at the end. Because I think there's another team that should be looking for a new IGL. Because I think their IGLs had more than enough time to put together at least one impressive result.
you'd literally be talking about any team as well. That's the worst part.
Yes, I could. We've seen FalleN go to North America already. He did it with Liquid. What
God,
about if he does it with Complexity? What roster? Become Dr. Frankenstein for one moment, please, sir. What roster would you build if you were
Jesus.
FalleN? at complexity. And that also
Fallen
means, because they've
complexity.
said, because of the Cowboys connection, they want to keep it to be an NA core. That means you've got FalleN and at least 3 NA players. Build a roster. Go on.
Okay, that's so hard. Okay, we'll keep Floppy. We'll keep Floppy. Floppy's good.
Been
Keep
rubbish
Grim.
recently. He is good.
Keep Floppy and yeah, but Floppy's in like being coached kind of hard. I think keep Floppy and Grim. Swish is good. I like Swisher. Liquid likes Swisher. He must be good at something, right? Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not going to give you a great answer because I don't watch Tier 2 NA that much. I know that Swish is highly
Well,
rated
you've
within
got
the
3
scene.
NA players there. You've got
Okay,
Swisher,
okay.
Swisher Grim Flopper. You can have anyone. Last
I don't even know what role Swisher plays one.
Entry.
Probably need
He's
to.
an entry.
Okay. Well, that's the problem with Grim then, but whatever.
Pack.
Yeah, I guess Grim can be Aglark in that team. So you need like a you need the IGL sub. You need an IGL sub to finish that team. Like a secondary caller. I don't know. I don't think JT's that bad. I think they're probably better off getting a rifle IGL and doing what I was talking about with Miles earlier and getting the first kid who looks like a good AWPer on CS2. I don't think FalleN's the solution for complexity. Like that team should be about resale value and building NA up from the ground. It shouldn't be getting
I think
FalleN.
that team should be about a complete fucking rebuild. But I just wanted to ask your thoughts because I really do think JT's time should be up. But that's not the point of the episode. I am slightly disappointed in you that you couldn't cobble something together in about 30 seconds straight, flat even. You know, you're normally
Genuinely have
better.
no idea. Stewie 2K, Stewie fallen. Get
Stewie
the Geo
2K.
pack. There it
Yeah,
is. That's
let him
it.
fucking rebuild his fucking
There it is.
legacy. Yes, I'm
Stewie
down.
fallen, Grim, Swisher floppy.
Yes, that is
No,
the
no, actually,
worst
no.
one
Fuck
I've
off,
ever heard.
Swisher. Fuck off, Swisher. Rush.
That's even worse. I'm so excited for it.
Automatic.
Jason, get on the fucking phone, lad.
Is Tarek about? No, but
Especially
genuinely,
Cloud9,
like,
but fallen instead of
honestly, automatic,
instead of
Stewie, fallen, Grim, floppy, banging.
one of the teams of all time. Okay,
Oh, I'm rooting for Stewie, man. I'm
okay.
rooting for him.
So to close us out after whatever the fuck that has been and the constant giggles we've had in this episode, because oh
That's Art's
god,
fault. It's not
I feel
us.
so bad for Keserato and Nathani is just dog shit.
Rest.
Okay, I just want you to pick one of these two options that I'm going to pose to you now. FalleN, should he retire or are these offers too good to turn down?
I'd gotta go to pain. I think fallen is so big in Brazil that he can wait, and the business opportunities will still be there whenever he retires. Go to pain. Give it a fucking go. Just
Yeah.
please don't join a team that has art and fur on it, or I really will start calling you a fraud.
And please get the fuck out of there, Keserato. But yeah, I agree. Pain, that is the fucking move. I'm not overly against Furia as long as the fifth is decent and Art's a ticking
Just get
time bomb.
Doomal, man. Just get Doomal instead of art.
Yeah, that's completely fine as well. Just please, FalleN, make the right fucking decision. Just please do that because Brazil deserves a good team. You know, everyone's fucking critical of their fans, but they will fucking turn up for a Brazilian team, and having those national support fucking means something. Yes, the French crowd were better. They gave every team something, even if it was hate in terms of Into the Breach, but that was really good to be
Still
around.
clapped him at the end, yeah.
Yeah, they still clapped them at the end.
Pussies.
Like, it's not a problem to have national support in the game. It's a fucking good thing. And FalleN brings that. So, I agree. He shouldn't retire. But, everyone, let us know what you think. Should he retire? Should he not? And if he doesn't, Pain, Furia, which one? Also leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel because we're going to keep doing this shit for a long time, even if no one fucking watches it. Right, I've been Sam Anima Mackenzie. He's been Statman Dave. We'll see you in the next one.